I'm Aaron Cavan.
I'm Joshua Karras.
And I'm Stephanie Seto.
We are staff to the Joint Legislative Audit and Review Committee. The legislature asked us to analyze how restrictions to in-person education during the COVID-19 pandemic affected educational opportunities and outcomes for students of different races and ethnicities. In March 2020, the governor restricted in-person education due to the pandemic. During the 2020-21 school year, schools began reopening. Most students were offered hybrid instruction with a combination of in-person and remote instruction. By the end of the year, districts offered fully in-person learning to about 19% of students. We found that students of different races and ethnicities returned to in-person learning at different rates.
We analyzed students' assessment scores to see how scores changed after in-person learning restrictions. We found that scores declined for students of all races and ethnicities. We also found that existing racial disparities in scores increased. We analyzed which schools and student characteristics were associated with assessment scores. We found that increased availability of in-person instruction did not have a large association with scores, but school poverty level did. We also looked at students' substance use and mental health. The percentage of students reporting cigarette, alcohol, or marijuana use decreased by 45% or more. And while mental health problems increased, this was consistent for students of all races and ethnicities. Finally, access to experienced teachers improved during the pandemic, reducing racial disparities in this area.
The Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction, or OSPI, received $2.9 billion in federal funds to address the impacts of the pandemic. Most of these funds are passed on to school districts. Districts wrote academic and student well-being recovery plans for how they would use this additional funding, and the 2021 legislature directed schools to report their progress to OSPI. OSPI does not yet have a process to monitor the plans or evaluate if they promote learning recovery. In this report, we analyzed student race and ethnicity data using the categories required for federal reporting. State law directs OSPI to collect more detailed race and ethnicity data, but this data is not yet complete.
The legislative auditor makes two recommendations. OSPI should finish collecting more detailed race and ethnicity data for all students in accordance with 2016 state legislation, and OSPI should establish a process to monitor school districts' implementation of their academic and student well-being recovery plans in accordance with 2021 state legislation. The full report is available on our website.